As we are studying triangle congruency, one of the ways that we can prove that two triangles are congruent is if three sides of one triangle are congruent with three sides of a second triangle, then we can say that the triangles themselves, the two triangles, are in fact congruent. Now here on the little diagram that we've got on the right side of the screen here, we have a large triangle, QRS, and then we have two smaller triangles that are a part of that. And we are going to write a proof where we're going to use side, side, side to prove triangles congruent. This is the side, side, side congruency postulate. So let's begin. So it says, given that triangle QRS, that's the larger triangle, is isosceles, meaning that two sides are congruent, with QR congruent to SR. So we know already that QR and SR are congruent, and that RT bisects QS at point T. And we're now setting out to prove that QRT, triangle on the left, and triangle SRT are congruent. Now, order is important. Anytime we're getting into congruency or similarity, order is certainly important. But let's go about our proof here. And I think your book said to do a flowchart proof, but I'm going to just use a modified two-column proof. It's too difficult or more difficult than I want to tackle to do a flowchart here on the screen without a lot of drawing. So let's see. Triangle QRS is isosceles with segment QR being congruent to segment SR. And that, of course, is our given, and we've already marked congruency for QR and SR. And RT bisects QS at point T. That also is a given. Now, if RT bisects QS at point T, then T is the midpoint of QS, and that reason there is the definition of segment bisector. Now, that being the case, then QT is congruent to ST. So we can say then that QT and ST are congruent. We're almost to side, 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 aren't we? Well, what else? Oh, that's the midpoint theorem. QT, if T is the midpoint, then QT and ST segments are congruent. And let's see, what about, I just need one more side to prove this congruency by the side, side, side. And if I look at that, then RT is congruent to RT. I mean, it's congruent to itself. And that's the reflexive property. And guess what we've got here? Triangle QRT is congruent to triangle SRT by the side, side, side theorem. Shazam.